lecture today. You're going to get a video of the lecture, which is going to be super awkward for all of us. But treat it as if I'm standing in front of you, and we'll see how it goes, and then I'll get your feedback from this after class. Okay, so today we're going to do a couple things. The first thing is to talk about the standard units that we use in this class. And the standard units that we use are for mass, we use the kilogram. For any distance unit, we use the meter. And for any time unit, we use seconds. And that doesn't mean that you can't use other units. What it means is, when in doubt, convert everything to these standard units. Okay, so if something's in centimeters, you should convert it to meters. If something's in millimeters, convert it to meters. Milliseconds, convert it to seconds. Years, convert it to seconds. Centigrams, convert it to grams. Okay, so when in doubt, make everything into these units. And every single unit that we learn about this entire year can be traced back to some of this, and some of this. Okay, so these are the most intrinsic properties, the most important things that we learn about. And so you need to learn a couple of unit conversions, and a couple of obvious ones which we learned about yesterday are that there are 100 centimeters in a meter, and there's also 1,000 millimeters, and there's also 1,000 meters in a kilometer. Okay, so these are things that you cannot ever ask me again. Sorry, you need to know these things. Okay, and the conversion between them should be pretty straightforward. You should have done this before, and so I'm going to assume that you can do it. However, the one thing that I do want to go over with you is how to convert something that has multiple units in it. For example, let's say I give you a number like 70 kilometers per hour, and I ask you to convert that into meters per second. Okay, and the way you do that is the way you've always learned to do it, but you have to do one unit at a time. Okay, so the first thing, let's just do hours. Okay, so to get rid of hours in the denominator, we want to put hours in the numerator. And what we want in the denominator is seconds. Okay, and so we want to know how many seconds are in 1 hour. Well, there are 60 seconds in a minute and 60 minutes in an hour. So that makes for 3,600 seconds. So now we've canceled out our hours. And I'm going through this quickly because I'm assuming that you have seen something like this before. Now we have kilometers per second. Okay, and then we have to convert from kilometers to meters. And so same thing, we want to get rid of kilometers in the denominator and have meters left in the numerator. And in 1 kilometer, there are 1,000 meters, because you know that, right? So you do all the math and you get a number. And that's how you do the type of conversion that requires multiple things. If, for example, this were 70 meters cubed, like a volume, okay, and I ask you, well, how many centimeters cubed is that? It's not the same conversion, okay? We have meters cubed, not meters. And so what I have to do is multiply by the number of centimeters in a meter,